Hey everybody, this is RJ Vega with the Human Resources Department, and this resource that you've accessed is regarding the language spoken tool developed by the Planning Department. And this is going to be a great resource to help support the language access efforts that we are doing here at the City of Lincoln to equip different staff members with resources to ensure that we can provide that meaningful service to all residents of our community. So what we're about to see, thanks to Andrew from the planning department, is an overview of this really awesome tool to help us as we plan for different community events. If we're going to be present at different events around town, this will be a great tool to help us plan ahead and think about what kinds of community members, and more specifically the languages they speak, will be present in those areas of our community. This could be relevant to maybe tabling at a cultural celebration. It could be some event at maybe a park or a library in a different part of our community. So really excited to learn more. And we're joined today by Andrew from the Planning and Development Services Department. And welcome, Andrew, and please let us know about this awesome tool.
Thanks, RJ. Let me share my screen and we'll just jump into the tool. So this is a tool we developed primarily using census data from the American Community Survey, or the ACS. The ACS is a survey that the Census Bureau does every year. It's a survey of about 3.5 million households. So it is a sample size survey, but it is considered to be very reliable data, very, very accurate data. It also is a much broader scope than the 10-year census. So the ACS asks additional questions, things like, what language do you speak? Or are you a good English speaker? Those types of things. So that data point we've used and put it into this tool. It's aggregated at both the city level, or I should say the county level, and also the census tract level. So if we zoom in a little bit, we can see the census tracts. So these are things that the Census Bureau uses for all types of data programs. A census tract is roughly about 600 homes, but it can vary in size a little bit. You can see these are the sizes of our census tracts in Lincoln. So tracts are really useful for looking at specific neighborhoods or specific locations within Lincoln, in this case, to see who speaks what languages in those different neighborhoods. So I'll start by showing our countywide data. That's on this button right here, Lancaster County Summary. This is the most detailed information we have about languages spoken. This comes from the ACS, and you can see it's organized by the language spoken here, and then whether the person speaks English not well or not at all. And these are self-identified designations based on the survey. So you can see for Lancaster County as a whole, Spanish and Vietnamese are by far the two largest language segments, which isn't surprising. And then below that next cohort, we have Chinese, Arabic, Ukrainian, and then Karen. So if you're just looking for citywide information about what languages are being spoken, this right here is your best resource for that. Go back to home. You can also look at specific census tracts. So you can zoom in on this tool. I'll just click on this tract here. And you can see on this tract, which is Census Tract 22, about 8% of people here have limited English speaking ability. And the top languages are Spanish, Vietnamese, and then other Asian or Pacific Islander languages. So I think that's the big thing to understand with looking at census tracts, is that the Census Bureau does not provide us quite as level of detail for census tracts, because one, privacy concerns. When you start talking about small geographies and small numbers, the Census Bureau likes to obscure those a little bit. But also, this American Community Survey is, as I mentioned, a sample size survey. So once you get to small geographies, small numbers, the margins of error get really big. So the Census Bureau combines some of those smaller language groups at the tract level. But if you see, Spanish, Vietnamese, other Asian and Pacific Islander languages, you can go back to this Lancaster County Summary and see, what are the other top Asian languages in Lincoln or Lancaster County, and I mean, Vietnamese and Chinese are called out separately, but something like Korean is probably part of that other languages category. The other piece of this is that you can look at LPS data. So you can see a little lock on this LPS button. The LPS data is just for staff only, so we had to put it behind a password because we have also shared this with some other community organizations. So I'm already logged in, so when I click on it, I can see it, but you'll get a pop-up that says sign into ArcGIS Online. Not everyone has an ArcGIS Online login, but you can request one from IS, or every department has some amount of staff who have ArcGIS credentials, or you can of course just reach out to me and I can give you the numbers for any schools that you're interested in. But you can see here in this tract we had Saratoga Elementary. These are the languages of the students. I believe this is classified as language spoken at home for those students. So you can see tying this in with the census data, we have 8 Karen speakers. So Karen is probably part of that other Asian language group. And just like with all the census tracts too, you can scroll around and click on different schools to see the information. One other thing I'll point out, I mentioned that we have tract data and county data. You can also look at on this controller here. You can also compare it to the state if you're interested to see how our language compares to the state as a whole. So that's all the functionality of the tool. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me or RJ, or we'll be happy to help.
Thank you very much, Andrew. That's an exciting tool that will help us, plan for not only being present in these communities as we provide our service or seek input from different community members. Also thinking about if there's printed materials or other signage or different ways to better reach those residents. So this link for the spoken language tool will be available on the intranet by visiting, of course, the Human Resources intranet page under the Resources section. Look for language access, and there will be an easy go-to link on there where you can access this resource. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or any member of the language access team. If there's a really detailed question specific to this tool, I'd recommend reaching out to Andrew and the planning department. Thank you very much, Andrew, and thank you all for tuning in today.